Have you ever stopped and wondered what makes some leaders and some companies so incredibly influential? I mean, it's not always about having the most money or the flashiest marketing or even being the first one to the party. Turns out there's this hidden pattern, a completely different way of thinking that the greatest leaders use to inspire people to act. So let's dive into this powerful idea from Simon Sinek and really see what it's all about.
I know, it sounds like the setup to a strange joke, right? You've got a couple of bicycle mechanics, a tech giant, and a revolutionary civil rights leader. On the surface, they couldn't possibly be more different. But as we're about to find out, they were all wired in the exact same way. A way that is the complete opposite of how almost everyone else on the planet thinks and acts.
So it turns out there's this naturally occurring pattern, kind of like a secret formula for inspiration, that connects all of these completely unrelated success stories. And to see it in action, let's start by looking at a classic rivalry. Okay, so picture this. It's the turn of the 20th century, and the race for powered flight is on. In one corner, you got Samuel Pierpont Langley. I mean, this guy had everything. A $50,000 grant from the War Department, a team of the best minds money could buy, the press following his every move. He was the sure bet. But then, a few hundred miles away, you had Orville and Wilbur Wright. They had zero funding, no college degrees, and were running the whole operation out of the back of their bicycle shop. All they had was a powerful dream. And yet, on December 17th, 1903, it was their passion, not Langley's resources, that lifted off the ground and changed the world forever. Now, fast forward a few decades, and you've got a totally different kind of revolution brewing. When Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs started Apple, they didn't just want to build computers. No, they saw the personal computer as a tool for the little guy, a way to challenge the corporate status quo and give power back to individuals. See, for them, it was never just about the hardware. It was always about the cause. And then, of course, there's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He wasn't the only person in America who knew what needed to change for civil rights. He wasn't even the only great speaker at the time. But he was able to inspire a nation. I mean, think about it. He didn't send out invitations for the March on Washington. There was no website to check the date. People just showed up, 250,000 of them, because they believed in his dream, not just his plan. So if these leaders inspired people, what does everybody else do? Well, most businesses and readers, they rely on a whole different set of tools. Tools that, yeah, they get short-term results, but they completely fail to build any real loyalty. Let's just call them what they are, manipulations. And you see these every single day, right? Drop the price, and people will buy. Run a 2-for-1 promotion, sales go up. Use fear. You better buy this or something bad will happen. Use aspirational messages. Buy this and you'll get the life you've always dreamed of. Or peer pressure. Hey, everyone else is doing it. And of course, the classic, novelty, the shiny new thing. And look, they all work. But there is a catch. This quote right here gets to the absolute heart of it. While these manipulations might get you a quick win, a sale, a vote, whatever, they will never, ever build a lasting relationship. They don't create loyalty. And that's the hidden cost of playing these common games. And this highlights a really crucial difference between repeat business and true loyalty. Repeat business is just when someone keeps buying from you, maybe because you're cheaper or just convenient. But loyalty? Oh, loyalty is something else entirely. Loyalty is when your customers are willing to turn down a better product or a cheaper price just to keep doing business with you. Manipulations get you the first one. Inspiration is the only way to get the second. So, if manipulation isn't the path to lasting success, then what is? Well, the alternative is a surprisingly simple but powerful idea that explains exactly how those inspiring leaders think, act, and communicate. And it's called the Golden Circle. And there it is. Looks pretty simple, right? Just 3 circles. But this is the key to everything we've been talking about. You see, most of us communicate from the outside in. We start with what we do. But those truly inspiring leaders and organizations, they completely flip that model on its head. They think, act, and communicate from the inside out. They start with why.
Okay, let's break this down. Starting from that outer ring, the what. This is the easy part. Every single company, every single organization on the planet knows what they do. It's the products they sell or the services they offer. It's the tangible, obvious stuff everyone can see. Now, moving one layer in, we get to the how. Some companies know how they do what they do. This is their special sauce, their unique selling proposition. It might be some proprietary process they have or a unique design philosophy. It's whatever they think makes them different from the competition. And now we get to the very core, the why.
And this is where it gets interesting because very, very few people or organizations can clearly tell you why they do what they do. And listen, this isn't about making a profit. That's just a result. The why is your purpose. It's your cause. It's your belief. Why does your company exist? Why do you even get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Okay, this is where we put the theory into practice, and it's so cool to see. If Apple were like every other company, their marketing would sound like the message on the left. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? It's fine. It's a statement of fact. But now listen to how they actually communicate, by starting with why. In everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. And we just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? You feel that difference? One is a sales pitch. The other is a purpose. And this right here is the single most important takeaway from this whole idea. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The what, the product, that just serves as the tangible proof of your why. We don't just buy Apple products because they're good computers, we buy them as symbols of our own belief in challenging the status quo. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's a clever marketing idea, but it's so much deeper than that. The Golden Circle isn't just some communication framework. It actually maps perfectly to how our brains are wired. This isn't opinion, this is biology. And this is the moment where it all just clicks into place. Look at this, the golden circle on the left and a cross-section of the human brain on the right. It's not a coincidence. The what, the outermost circle, corresponds to our neocortex, the newest part of our brain. But the how and the why, they map directly onto our limbic brain, the part that drives our feelings, our behavior, and all of our decision-making. So here's the key thing to understand. That neocortex, the what brain, is responsible for all of our rational, analytical thought and language. But the limbic brain, the why brain, is in charge of all our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also where all human behavior and decision-making comes from. And get this, it has no capacity for language. And that right there explains gut feelings. When you make a decision that just feels right, even if you can't explain it logically, you're listening to your limbic brain. So when companies communicate just the what, all the facts and figures, they're talking to our rational brain. But when they communicate the why, they speak directly to the part of the brain that actually makes the decisions. They bypass logic and connect with us on a deep emotional level. What's so amazing about this idea is that it's not just for giant corporations or historical figures. Nope, it applies to every single one of us, in our work, in our lives. And so the challenge really is a very simple one. This is the call to action. It's that simple and that profound. In everything you do from this moment forward, whether you're building a company, leading a team, or just trying to inspire the people around you, don't start with what you're doing. Start with why you're doing it. And that brings us, of course, to the final question, the only one that really matters now. Before you can inspire anyone else, you have to know what drives you. So, what's your why? What is the purpose, the cause, or the belief that gets you out of bed in the morning? Once you know that, everything else just falls into place.